Hey, this is Colin from Make, and I'm going to show you the game Dot that I wrote for the Meggy Jr. RGB game system kit. Let me just put the light down a little bit. So it's a simple game that basically just uses the cross pad. Push A to start, and then you, the dot, white and green blinking thing, have to go find the sun. I collect the sun 8 times, and you move on to the next level. Now, the drop gets longer as the level goes up, and also another drop appears, increasing the challenge twofold. And if you hit a drop, it's game over. So once you go up a few levels, things start to get pretty hectic, and you end up dodging a lot of rain in order to get that sun. Ah. Whoa. Ah. And that is the playing experience of Dot for Meggy. Now I'll run through how some of the code behind the game works. This could be helpful to some and incredibly boring to others. Either way, let's open up the sketch in Arduino. There is the title at the top, and I give a brief description and instructions at the beginning of the sketch, and some ideas about things that could be added. And if I had the time, I would love to add more because this has proved to be a lot of fun. As I go through, you'll see I have a long list of my variables that I define, and it started out very simple, and it still remains a pretty simple game, but I think you'll find it's a lot of fun to add more little features and animations and just things to add richness to your game. Some of our variables here are .x, .y. That's the player dot. That's the coordinates, the x and y coordinates, so we can determine where the dot is on the screen by those two numbers. The sun x and sun y, that's where the sun is on the screen. The sun being the sort of goal, the thing you want to go get. And it started out as like loot, like a piece of gold, but then I thought it kind of looked like the sun. So that led to the idea of having rain to avoid in the game. And here are the rain coordinates to see where the rain is at the current time. And if there's a second raindrop on screen, that'll show where that is, the rain 2y and rain 2x. These ones that say old is to show where that, let's say the rain, was last time around, last time the screen refreshed, as the game sort of goes through these refresh cycles to move all the animation around. And so we know where it was, and then from there we determine where it's going to be. Auxval is auxiliary value I use somewhere and can't really recall at the moment. Dot color is the color of the player dot. Level color, the color of the level numbers that I display, and the sun color, of course. I list these colors or define them so that I know what the color was last time, and so I can cycle it to a different color the next time. And then the rain colors I have a bunch of because I make the rain sort of flow by using gradations of blue. And there's a bunch more of these in there that are sort of self-explanatory. These would be variables for the big X I show on the screen when there's a game over. And use this variable sunny, not to be confused with sun y, is it's sort of saying, is it sunny out? Is there a sun? Did the player capture, did it grab the sun yet? And if there wasn't a sun inside my sketch, I would, sunny it would equal 0, then I would say draw a new sun. So this is all sort of a hint into the sort of the logic that I'm using in the game. The level, of course, level 1. You could change this to another number if you wanted to start on another level, but might as well just start at 1 and easier way in. And rainfall, I'm using this to keep track of when to move my rain down. Now this number will decrease faster as the levels go up, and that'll make the rain drop faster. And these are the specific colors I'm using to make my rain look like it's flowing, and some other random stuff, and sunshine to define what color I'm keeping my sunshine. And here are some custom colors, which is a cool feature of the Megyy Jr simplified library. You can define your own colors to use in the sketch. You can call these by this custom color 0, 1, 2, 3, and onward. I chose to use the numbers because it was easier for me. The corresponding numbers to custom color 0 would be 16, custom color 1, 17, and so on. And at the beginning I say reset game because I have a function that I wrote down at the bottom that resets everything and triggers the title screen, and we'll see that in a little bit. As I go through, you can see in the beginning I count up a counter that helps me keep track of all the animations and trigger things. And I have a little state that I toggle on and off so I can see if we are on an even or odd number refresh. That's again just like little tools to use for animating the characters in the game. And this little if statement will toggle the colors of my player's dot. You can see if if it's on the odd screen, then it'll be green, and otherwise it'll be white for the player dot. And we also do the same for the sun, but we do it through yellow, white, and orange. So you can play with those to see the results of them. And of course, another nice and self-explanatory function of the Megyy Jr simplified library is check buttons down, which, oh yes, you guessed it, checks to see if the buttons are down. So definitely check out that PDF from Evil Mad Scientist Labs. It's super handy and really, really well laid out. And here we go through, you can see I set up, I make the player dot respond to the up, down, left and right buttons, and that makes the dot move around the screen, and for each little bit of movement it also makes a little sound with the tone start function. And you can also see that I constrained it so that the dot does not move off the screen, which is handy. So and then I also animate my raindrop, and I say if the rain's y coordinate is at 0, that means it's at the bottom of the screen. Then I draw a new one, and I set new coordinates for it at a random spot. And same thing for the second raindrop, and there's a bunch more of this that you could sort of mess around with and see what it does. And I also tried to comment these out as best I could to make it nice and clear, because like I said, it did get complex rather quick, and it started off really simple. I actually just took the Meggy Jr Blink program and started messing with that, and it turned into this. Yes, and this is the rainfall that I mentioned earlier that'll tell me when to make the raindrops move down, and this is all about counting it down, and depending on the level and such, to do it faster. And I cycle the color of the little sun rays, I animate them so the sun sort of shines. And more of these various things is where I actually draw the player's dot on the screen and the sun on the screen. And we display everything at the end of this main loop. And this is where I cycle the colors of the raindrop to make them flow. And I also say if we're above or on level 2, we make the raindrop bigger. Level 8, we make it even bigger. And if we're above level 3, above or on level 3, we draw a second raindrop and make that bigger with higher levels. And in here you could see if we read to see if the player dot is okay, so what this says is read where the player is. Read where we said that the player is going to be drawn on the screen. And if we look at the screen currently, what's currently displayed on the screen that we put up to the screen the last time around, if that is one of the raindrop colors, which are these, the different blues, then game over because you got hit by rain. So you can see that's really basically how the logic works. It says, okay, we're going to draw the player, and then we're going to see if where he's going to go, there's what he wants to avoid. So we're going to draw the player, and if the player is being drawn where there's rain, well, then the player gets a game over. So that means that you moved into the rain and you got wet and game over. That's basically how the logic works. This is the same sort of logic with where the sun is, and that will, if you grab the sun, then that'll make a chomp sound, and that's a good thing, and will also progress in the game because of it. Now all these little things where I'm grabbing level up, chomp sound, you can see those aren't the Megyy Jr library functions. Those are my own that I wrote. So let's say chomp sound. We can find that at the bottom of the sketch. And here it is, down here. So here's chomp sound. As you can see, it's a bunch of tone starts with delays. So it plays C4 note for 10 milliseconds, and then it does an E5, 2 E5s, I guess, yeah, G6, and it goes through and it makes a choop. Those go really quick, so they make a little crump sound, a little chomp sound. And so there's a bunch of those. You can see where I use level up. That I'll draw the animation for the new level number, and that calls other functions inside of it that display everything. So you can see level screen it calls, and that level screen in turn, which is right here, this is the actual function for it, will call all the level numbers, and I have those all down here too. You can see all the level numbers, drawing level 1, 0, 1, and so on. So you can mess around with it, and feel free to use any parts of it for your own game. It's totally a lot of fun. I would love to make many more games for it, and maybe I will be able to. So anyway, have fun. Enjoy your Meggy. Bye.